Okay,
We'll do the roll call of members present. It's just all the normal formalities that.
Yeah, okay.
To document that there's a quorum for this meeting.
okay, very well. We have to wait for that. Okay. You ready? Okay. So do we need to turn the mics on for that, Kelly? So if you've got a mic in front of you, put it on green and it should work. Okay, so let's call the meeting to order. Push it, push the
little-
button in bottom. You see the little face?
Where it's red, just push that until it turns green.
Okay, so
Oh, this one here on the front.
let me,
This one.
if I may, Ron.
Please.
It's not doing it.
I'm Rich.
I'm sorry.
That's all right, we're even now.
Only members of the Historic Resource Commission, or Historic Preservation Commission and staff should have mics. So anyone else that has a mic should not have them if they're not one of those two groups.
Until it's done.
We need to. We're gonna, at the next meeting, we're going to coordinate this between myself and Rich, where the commission will set up on the dais, and members that are not members of the agency will be in the audience. It's a matter of protocol, which is very normal and customary in any board commission meeting that you attend, in my years of experience. So I'm trying to create a little bit more order and organization. It's nothing personal against anybody, but it's just a matter of trying to create some structure, and try to align our other boards and commissions, this commission with our other boards and commissions, under the community development department. So, but we'll carry on, for the meeting like the way it is here. But, if you're not a member of the board or commission, or not a member of the HPC, there'd be no mics. I am going to suggest that we add to the agenda an opportunity for public comment, which is normal and customary. And then going forward, we have that. So, people that are attending the meeting have an opportunity to speak on any topic that they want to.
The only thing I'll add to that, and we'll get to it as we get to the details of how this is all going to work, because I like a little bit of informality. I like people to have the opportunity to speak. So for example, when we get to a specific topic, if it involves some of the other people in the room, I don't mind hearing their input as we're talking about it. I don't want to force this into a wall with others out there that can only speak at a certain time and they better get their thing in or they miss it. It's not my style. And it's not what that's not the way we've been operating in the past. So I'd like to find a way to balance this. I get what you're asking for. And, but you know, for example, we've got members here from the Garden Club that have some real interest in what we're doing with the firehouse. And I want to hear what they have to say. So it's very important. All right. So we'll figure that out. Anyway, thank you. This is all good. So recording's going already. So I suggest that we start with Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, excellent. All right, okay. So the next thing is the approval of the minutes. So there were no minutes in the package that was on the agenda for today. I know that basically the minutes consist of what was recorded in our last meeting, but we don't have them, so I don't know that we can approve them.
Yeah, you can't approve them without having them in the
So-
packet. That should have been.
Yeah.
Let me ask.
I don't believe we approved the minutes from the fire.
Yeah, I think we did. I thought we did.
Did we
I don't-
actually do that?
Yeah. If we had the minutes, we would know. But I think we did.
Well, that's right. They came into the packet late. Some people didn't see them and some people did.
Yeah, they were quick to read.
We'll provide those to the next meeting.
Very well.
Jeez.
That'll work. Okay,
Yeah, I got them in there. Should be ready to go. Everybody sign the,
all right.
sign.
So we have a few things on the agenda today. We'll talk about our normal stuff, but the first item for discussion today is related to adopting a 5-year work plan. This is something Don's bringing to the table for us to look at as a draft at this point. The idea being formalizing more our ongoing plans and where we're trying to go as a group. So what I would suggest to you, have you all had a chance to read it?
Yes.
I have. Have you had a chance to read it? Okay. So what I'd like to do, Don, if this is all right.
Sure.
I've read it. I haven't adjusted it. There's things in there that are good, some that are not aligned with what we're doing, and I want to see what you had in mind.
Mhm.
So what I'd like to do is I want everybody to please take a look at it quickly, or when you can, give me your feedback. You and I, Don, should probably sit down and chat before our next meeting and review the details of it, and then we can get a package that's closer to where we want to go and get it towards adopting. Does that make sense?
Yes, let me ask this, has the commission members read the staff report and the draft for the work plan?
Yeah, I have. Yes.
Okay. It's, yeah, the question is really is for the commission because the commission is the ones who
Yeah.
are voting on this. Okay, so you're comfortable, you know, the details of it.
Mhm.
Okay. Do you need a copy of it? Did you bring one with you of what the? Okay, all right, I just make sure that everybody's got it, so if we're
Yeah, I
referring.
was able to get it
anything-
electronically. I couldn't make it print, but that doesn't matter.
Okay, all right. All right, very good.
But you have 15 elements in there, and many of them align with what we're already doing, so it makes it easy. For those that don't, I want to talk about it a little bit.
Sure.
The big ones here is the Maryland 250 thing, which is probably would be a significant undertaking that we need to look at. You had some things in there about doing a survey of historic properties and some other stuff. So I want to make sure that we're aligned because we don't really have people aligned to do that work at this point. So we need to find out if we think we can get people to do it and then get it done. So that's kind of where I want to take the conversation.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
so I understand if I may kind of
Please.
just normal.
Yep.
Normal flow. I was gonna give you a sort of a verbal staff report.
Okay.
On this item so that I can kind of walk you through.
Great.
What it is, and then I'll turn it back to you as the chair. And then we can ask me questions, the commission members
Mm-hmm.
can ask me questions about the work plan. And we can have some back and forth, and at the end of the discussion, hopefully I can get some feedback on where the commission wants to go with it. And
Okay.
as appropriate, we'll continue it or modify it or however you all wanted to do
Yeah.
that.
So
So,
we could do that. I'm open to doing all that. Let me ask you an opening question then as we get into this. Because we'll develop this plan
Mhm.
and I want to understand its intent. Is its intent as a guideline to things we should be working on, whether we do them all or not? Or is it prescriptive, you need to work these projects over the next X years and that's what's got to be done?
okay,
Do you see the difference?
yes,
Yeah.
and let me go through what this is and what accomplished for the commission.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, awesome. So thank you, Chair. So staff has identified that the commission does not have a work plan for it to help guide and direct its short-term, long-term.
And just for the record, it's not something that's been asked for.
Pardon? I understand that.
Okay.
And part of my job is to help coach and navigate.
Yeah.
So there's currently not a work plan for the commission, at least not a formal one. This is Lucinda Anderson. I'll explain her role.
Okay.
So staff has proffered developing a work plan that aligns with the duties and assignments of the commission that's outlined in the town's municipal code. And to that extent, Staff believes that having a work plan that's going to guide the commission's activities over at least the next 5 years is going to be helpful to provide some structure, some organization, as well as to provide the town and particularly the council with a set of things that the commission is going to accomplish or work to accomplish as part of its job responsibilities. To do that, I wanted to lay out for the commission some ideas that staff has, things that I know that work, that I've either engaged with personally or done, or am aware of in my experience in historic preservation.
Okay.
The intent of this is really at this point is to identify things that I think that are can be accomplished. I've identified as we walk through these, the timing of these are basically to try to align with a myriad of different considerations from when the town starts to do its update to its comprehensive plan, to timing of when things should be done if we do a town-wide historic resource survey, to also consideration of staff time and resources, as well as to align the long-term, to align the planning commission's budget with actual needs are based on its work plan that we're trying to develop here. This will give the council some insight in terms of things that they know that the commission's working on, that they can allocate resources for appropriately. But it's also to enable the council to hold us all accountable to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing under our ordinance.
Yeah. Speaking of council, is Paul coming today?
No, Councilman Gutenberg said that he would not be able to attend the meeting because of another commitment.
Okay. It's important that I understand. That's cool, but it's important that the council rep be here
Oh,
because we frequently turn to them for this kind of guidance that you're talking about. So, okay.
So what the long-term intent here is, and I'll walk you through the program here, but the intent is to have the commission review this, provide feedback, settle on a proposed work plan that will be transmitted to the town council for their review and approval. With that review and approval, then we basically have some organization and structure in terms of what we need to be working on and prioritizing for each particular year. Now, I've in the staff report, and in here I'll tell you that I've got 3 items for each year. They start off with things that we're kind of doing now, things that are coming up, and balancing that with things that we can reasonably do with the commission's help and with staff time to be able to do this, to aid in this. There's the list as we go through this, the list becomes perhaps a little bit more, we start ramping up a little bit perhaps more challenging things because some of these items require more time. They certainly require more money to do. But we can get somewhere with developing a work plan like this in staff's professional opinion. But let me walk you through here and explain to you kind of the way this is being identified. So my recommendation is that the commission not bite off more than 2 or 3 projects each year, because I want to be able to have the commission help the commission produce something that the town council wants and is looking forward to, and the community will can rely on. The first item for this is for budget year 25-26. So that budget period started July 1st. I've identified the plaque program that I understand that we're pretty well into at this point. It didn't sound like that there's a lot of extra lift to go with that. And so I wanted to incorporate something that we're already doing and get credit for it from the council. So I think that's something that is pretty much done. There's the 250th Maryland program, and this is basically a recognition of Maryland's in the semi-quincentennial of the adoption of the Declaration of Independence, American independence. The Maryland 250 program offers the ability for communities to participate with the state and be able to provide a variety of different programming as the town desires to do. But it needs to have the ability to have programs that are they're basically approved and ready to go. That's a great opportunity to partner tacitly with the state to bring awareness of Maryland's participation in the War of Independence, the American Revolution, the Declaration of Independence, Maryland's history at that time. And I've listed, these are the stuff that I have in blue in here that you've seen before. These are just simply suggestions of things that could potentially be done. Lucinda Anderson, who's next to me, is the special coordinator for the town of La Plata. She's the one that puts on all these fabulous programs that you see on Fridays and on the weekends. Does a great job. She has got a lot of energy and a lot of experience in public relations and developing programming. And she's identified to me that that she could be able to provide some help in coordinating and organizing this with the Historic Preservation Commission. So she's here basically to listen to your comments, particularly as it pertains to this, to be able to answer questions that you all might have pertaining to this concept.
Okay.
Yeah, if you'd like to, sure, go ahead.
Hi. Don gave me a nice introduction. I apologize for being late. It is Friday concert day and weather is a part of it. So my, I have several phones, but one of them has been ringing all morning. What's the plan? Are we having the concert? Yada, yada, yada. Volunteers, vendors, band, everyone. And I'm trying to create some additional signage. So I normally don't do Friday meetings.
I know.
So this is very special.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. But
Do you do
excited.
weddings too?
I
Sound like you could.
I know this is a recorded meeting. Hey, Kelly back there.
Yeah.
But my background, as Don said, is in events, marketing, advertising. I'm familiar with this topic. Don and I had fun talking about the topic. I am a journalist. I cover these events. I go to these destination tourism events. And I own an event company. So yes, I
Okay.
do weddings, I have event equipment, I hang out with people who do these kinds of things, and I've done a ton of political work. So all of this is in the realm, and I've researched some things that maybe would help with this endeavor. So I am here to understand what you'd like to do, where the events department can come in, what kind of grant money we can perhaps secure with deadlines coming up quickly for this grant money.
Okay.
That's all.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Let me walk through the rest a little bit faster so we can get stuck in on this. The other thing was for 25, 26 was developing for our website to put on the HPC's platform is a historic professionals list, and that would include a variety of consultants from everything from preparing the historic preservation, for doing historic resource surveys to experts in carpentry or craftsmanship and other types of preservation type of professionals for the use of the community's reference. 26, 27, I have on there to do a full-scale effort on developing the firehouse as a museum, developing an oral history program that we can gather new information from the public about the history of the town, things that are sort of that are not documented, but except in other people's heads. And it'd be nice to have outreach for the community on that topic, as this is really the most vulnerable history that we have, because people pass away or move away. The information is lost. A legacy business program. This is actually a fun program. It's not practiced everywhere, but it basically allows for communities to designate and recognize businesses that have been in town for at least 30 to 35 years. These are businesses that have been here, are rooted part of the community, that you can't imagine the town not having them. And so it becomes a designation program where they demonstrate that they've been in the town for typically 30, 35 years. And that there's some little perks that are associated with that. It might be, tagging their building, maybe providing information about them, on the preservation website that we want to develop in the future in more detail, to be able to offer them special grants, to show our appreciation for them being in the town for as long as they have, and to recognize them for their contribution. They're a very important part of our community. Going into 27, 28, this is when I would propose that we do a comprehensive city and townwide historic resource survey. That survey is probably going to be typically a year to 18 months probably to do. And that's really going to provide the opportunity for us to really re-examine the historic district that we wanted to have that doesn't really exist at this point, but it'll have an opportunity to re-examine those properties, changes to that area, how it's affected its integrity from the time the resource was originally identified, but to also look at other properties that haven't been considered in other contexts besides architecture that should be considered within the town, going back from its prehistory up until up to 1980. So you would really, when you want to survey, you want to survey up to about the last 45 years. And that provides a little bit of shelf life for the document, and it provides for future planning for these resources that may come online in the future. But that's going to require consultants, going to require time and money. Obviously, the council's blessing to do that. But from that, we can do a lot of other things, because we connect the dots by developing programs, recognition, and other things that I'll be talking about in here. It also is suggesting doing facade preservation easements. The town's a nonprofit, and so nonprofits under state law are allowed to have to acquire easements, and those include facade easements. If you're not familiar with what a facade easement is, it's basically if you have a historic building and you want to preserve that facade the way it looks, as a property owner can voluntarily give a nonprofit such as a town a facade easement. And what that basically means is that they cannot make any modifications to the exterior of the property, the building, or wherever that facade, however that facade wraps around the building. Could be only on one side, or it could be the entire building, but it gives the town control, of the ability to say yes or no to modifications that are being made that go above and beyond our historic resource ordinance. This is basically the property owner is allowing a nonprofit to direct what if they're going to allow for any changes to the exterior. So that could include things from paint color to doing window change outs to doing additions on it. And it provides more authority than what the code perhaps allows you to do. And
Is there something in it for them?
Common. Huh?
Just curious, is there something in it for them?
Yes. And they are able, because it's an easement, they are able to get a tax credit for that dedication. Historic preservation seminar, something that can be done. It does take a little bit of time to do. I did numerous, put on numerous seminars, half day, full day seminars, in my other life in California. This is a really great opportunity to work with other preservation partners to develop a program that can be open to the public. If the town wants to, it can do it for free or to charge a minimum or at least to ask for a donation. And this would cover everything from teaching fellow planners or fellow professionals or anyone who's interested in preservation about a variety of different topics, from what is the appropriate ways of preserving your building? How do you, what types of preservation equipment or people should you be using? What types of activities should be involved if you're looking at wanting to do addition to your house? The seminar would really cover a variety of different preservation topics that people may be interested in, and provide some professional training for other staff in other communities and counties. 28, 29, this is an opportunity for the town to be, the commission to be involved in updating our comprehensive plan for historic resources. I'm looking at starting the update to the comp plan probably at the very beginning of 2028. And this feedback from the HPC will be invaluable in helping to shape the goals and objectives in the comp plan for the town as it pertains to historic resources.
Is the current council going to end up writing this update, or is the next one?
Pardon? I'm sorry.
Is the current town council going to write this update, or will it be the next one?
No, this one will. It will be, well, let me put it this way. They will be heavily involved in it for the time that 2030 comes around. They may not be the same members, but they are going to be heavily involved as council with that update.
Gotcha.
The also suggesting that the commission develop with the council, of course, council's blessing, is to do a local historic preservation grant program. And this grant program would be generated from not only the resources that we already have designated locally, but with other resources that might be identified through this comprehensive townwide survey that we'd be doing or starting a year earlier, so that we have opportunities to encourage and promote preservation by owners of historic properties. It's an incentivization to do the right thing, to show that the town is behind them in their efforts to preserve their historic resources. Public history plan. I think this is probably a really fun one to do. The public history plan is basically identifying, through using particularly our historic resource survey that by this point should be done or close to being done, but to identify aspects about the community that is might be of public interest, telling stories about buildings, places, people, trying to identify, you would ideally try to put wayside signs like you see around, you see these in Virginia and you see them throughout Maryland too, where there's these little like 3-foot high platforms, and they have text on it, kind of tell you something about what happened here or in the area. And it's a great way to engage the community. It promotes walkability. These could be potentially put on trails or in addition to on or near historic sites. But provides really an opportunity to share our history with our residents, so that history does not lost in the future when we're all gone. It also encourages heritage tourism, bringing people to town because they've got a reason to come to town. They can do walking trail. They can learn something about the history of the town, maybe through our oral history program that encourages them to go, hey, I'd like to go to the next one of those because I've got something to share. I've got documents I'd like to share with the town that could potentially be archived for the town's benefit and for the community's benefit long term, to learn more about, we'll play it in the people and places, long forgotten events that need to be brought back up to remind us of our community and who we are and how we got here. 2930, the end of this, is to consider updating our historic resource ordinance. This would be a really good time after the adoption of our comp plan, with our goals and policies in place, as well as with the information that we learned from the historic resource survey. And it really, I think, will, if it's done correctly, it can really help focus the town in really understanding its preservation needs and what is out there for us to preserve. We look at stuff all around us and think, well, if there's not a sign there to tell us it's historic, it must not be historic, which that's not the first thing from the truth. It's understanding what you're looking at. That's what's important. And having historic resource ordinance that can try to propagate, signage and historic storytelling through future development that occurs on site, that we could use a historic resource ordinance to not only to help promote and educate us on historic preservation, but maybe at that time there might be an opportunity for the council to sort of more, and the community more fully appreciate having a historic resource ordinance that now, with more resources identified that we want through a historic resource survey, that we really want to take maybe a little bit firmer hand, not harsh, but firmer hand, to require a little bit closer review and preservation of our buildings out there, and building structures, objects, and sites. This is another great opportunity with all of that I just said, to look at exploring doing certified local government. Certified local governments are in every state in the union. They are basically they're an opportunity for communities to not only to provide, they're basically given special recognition as having specialized preservation expertise and interest. And for certified local government, we have some of the basic qualifications already. We have a historic preservation commission. We have a preservation ordinance. That'll likely require to be updated and approved based on what some of the guidelines are going to be. But we need to also have a regular system of survey, which we would have done a couple years earlier, as well as to have an ordinance that's going to enforce preservation. And so those are some of the key points and key aspects you have to be a certified local government. And what certified local government means for the town is it's an opportunity for grants, for us to use preservation money, somebody else's money, to do historic preservation work. And these types of things can flow back into doing things like public history plans and doing more survey work, doing other types of historic preservation activities that are identified in your job duties, creating new opportunities for new work program items that we need to be able to budget for and be able to justify. And CLG brings with it a certain status. If your community is a CLG, state looks at you a little bit differently than if you're not, just because they recognize you have preservation, you're committed to preservation, and you have preservation expertise in the community. And then lastly, I would really like to have, as we move on and we start growing the things and that we're doing, accomplishments that we achieve, is to really update our historic preservation website on the town's broader website, on the HPC's platform, and really engage the community with the things that we have, resources that we can provide, as well as even imagine doing an online history tour of the town. I did one of these when I worked in California, where I took the information from the historic resource survey that we did, and we did one comprehensively for the town. And we actually did a little aerial map that people could click on. You click on points on that map and pop up the resource with the history of the property and any other additional cool information about it. It incorporated some other historic resources, things that were there, like I was trying to develop some trail systems and so forth. Don't know if they ever got that up, but it provides an opportunity to really engage with preservation in a way that I think is not only educates the community, but provides an opportunity to educate a wider audience. And for the folks that, that have disability or access issue problems, it gives them the same opportunity to share those same experiences that ambulatory folks can experience in person. So there's some really good opportunities to do that. The last one, and I put this off there as kind of as a future topic. This is a little bit more unique. It's a lease loan program, and I've seen this done before, and it's actually really kind of a cool thing to do. What it basically involves is developing a program in which the town basically becomes the intermediary, where material culture, these are historic items, right, that can be brought from maybe museums or maybe somebody's personal collection or whatever, and be brought into the public realm through sponsors, through commercial businesses or offices or whomever that can provide displays or representations of aspects of La Playa's history. I always, whenever we go to a museum, I'm thinking, this is only a small fraction of what a museum typically has. They got so much stuff that's in their basements, and what they don't have, that they don't display, they end up selling off. So why not help our museums and the relevant collectors that are out there that are looking to provide and share their stuff with the community? And we can bring history out to the community, the public, where people don't have to go to a museum to see things. It's already infused within our broader community, but it would be a voluntary program, but something that we could try to help facilitate. And it's kind of a cool thing to do maybe in the future. So that's a quick, I'm sorry it went so long, but it's a quick kind of rundown of some of these ideas and concepts for your consideration that I think will help build historic preservation and consistent with the jobs and duties that are recognized in the town's municipal ordinance for the Historic Preservation Commission. So thanks.
Awesome. Great summary. You put a lot of work into this, so appreciate that. So let's see, as far as where we go next with this, first of all, I'd like to get some feedback from the commission members in terms of what you've seen here, and if you've had any broad thoughts about what we need to do next with this, and I guess we can go from there. So,
Well,
does anybody have any thoughts you want to share right away?
my first thought is, could you give this to us in a chronological order of how you see these things happening by the year?
That's what I had.
It is
Yeah,
here.
that's what's in there, but.
It is by fiscal year.
It's not in any kind.
If you look
Because
at,
the one that I gave you earlier.
Yeah,
was
that's the first one.
original draft.
oh yeah, he's got it.
He updated it.
He updated
it's in
by
the,
year.
Packet. On the-
So for example, the plaque program,
It's-
La
it's in
Plata,
the packet,
Maryland,
the meeting
50.
Here's what
Yeah,
done, so
yeah,
you can
he
see.
did that.
And so I can print this off online?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
If you do,
I-
show me how. Because
yeah,
I
because
said not.
I had an interesting time getting it to print too, but.
Could we be provided a printed copy?
I can provide you a printed copy.
Thank you.
I actually have also a chronology question as well. You've got it broken down, and I see some of the things that you've got broken down make sense because you're trying to feed one to the next.
Yeah.
There are some elements there that you've covered that actually touch on things that we're already trying to get done.
Yeah.
And now I'm of the question whether we should defer what we're trying to do now and try to align it with this plan, or whether we continue to proceed down the path we're already on. And that goes to, I think one of the last items you touched on was developing trails and tourism and getting history out there in the form of little markers where, this is what happened here and that type of thing. And we were already talking about doing something similar within the town by putting kiosks or markers somewhere where, as people walk through the town, they can see what a block used to look like back, 100 years ago or 50 years ago, that type of thing. I see them as almost the same Maybe one's an expansion of the other, but we're kind of already working in that direction now. So I'm questioning whether we continue working in that direction or we want to put it in the context of this plan and defer it for a couple of years.
So I think that's one of the questions on the table for us as to what do we want to try to do first? Because as you know, for example, the firehouse is something that we're trying to get launched much faster than starting next year. So that would be another item that we would probably want to look at juggling around in terms of the order.
There is an order, though, that he needs, I think, to build upon for certain aspects of the
Right.
plan.
Well,
So we have to
Yeah. we have to
build
work
those
through
as
the-
well, or
Yeah.
consider that as well.
And as Stuart brought up, we were talking about the putting together the map thing and making that work and try to incorporate it with the plaque program that's already ongoing, where you could add potentially a simple UPC code and people can look stuff up immediately.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden your map starts to emerge. So all these things, I think we're aligned in terms of content and a lot of this stuff. But maybe the timing is a little different than what we were thinking. So we can talk about all that. Okay. All right. Any other thoughts?
So, okay, so I guess the direction I'm looking from the commission is, and I can fully appreciate, and that's why I wanted to have a work plan so that we all are working off the same page, and it will endure fundamentally in going forward. I think that, and I don't fully, and I do appreciate the fact that I don't fully know all the things that you're touching or doing at the moment. But I think having a common understanding of the things that, okay, we're at least for me, so I know exactly what you're doing. I think there is value to doing some of this stuff, and I think some of it, a few things might be aligned maybe a little bit differently, but when I put together this list, I'm putting it together because I'm thinking of my immediate priorities that are given to me by the town manager, as well as what my staff resourcing is, information that I'm going to need to be able to help facilitate this program, these types of programs.
Is there a list of the priorities that you're trying to follow that maybe we should be made aware of?
Well, some of the biggest priority I have right now is developing a adequate public facilities ordinance. That is at the apex of everything I'm doing right now.
Okay.
In addition to all the subdivisions and all the other stuff that require immediate demands. So I have to balance that with me being a one person operation right now for the most part. I need more staff. And so these are the types of things that I'm thinking of in addition to funding and being able to have these conversations with the council. And the way I've structured this is, and Stuart hit it on the head, is I'm thinking about a lot of other different things just from a staff implementation standpoint that gives me enough time to try to, that I think that it'll take to be able to resolve some of these other things and to deal with more of the low hanging fruit at the moment and try to build up to some of the bigger stuff in the future as we socialize this, these concepts, this work plan amongst ourselves and then ultimately with the council, so that there's buy-in for it. And as I have to be able to say that, yeah, I can commit to doing it during this year. It doesn't mean that the plan can't be tweaked and moved around. But this is kind of where I'm at right now with it.
Okay, so you built this based on your priorities and what you need to get done.
I'm basing it on what the planning department has the capabilities of doing, looking at the Historic Resources Commission as part of the department, and what can reasonably be done at this moment that doesn't require additional council money or allocation for my department to be able to help you all accomplish your goals. And like I said, the stuff sort of ramps up in the future. It gets more expensive and more complex, takes a little bit more time. And so I I want to be able to achieve, as I'm sure you all do, to have a product at the end that we can say at the end of the year, we got these things done, we did something. And not, and know exactly what it is that we're doing. The council knows exactly what we're doing, and we can provide that product at the end of the day. And we're all sort of holding ourselves accountable to focus on these particular things in a given year.
Understand?
Can I chime in?
Sure.
Also to Don's point about planning, I just referenced an email that we received from Karina, our treasurer, asking each department to give a 5-year planning projection of staffing, funding, changes, things that we needed to see.
This is a new requirement?
This is from the.
I know who it's from. It's new, right?
I don't
Never been
know.
asked for it before.
I have no idea
It's new.
because we're both new.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you it's new.
It's not an unusual.
It's not unusual and it's a good idea,
Yeah.
but it's new. All right.
So with that being in mind, we're tasked to give this information, and the events department is also a department of one.
Yeah.
And the more that we take on, the more budget we need to request, we need additional personnel and time, yes, time. But we don't want to miss the opportunity to request budget or to request resources. And then we look up and we're trying to implement all of these things and we drop the ball.
Right.
So that's another consideration.
Exactly. And I think to building on what Lucinda just said, I think that for this fiscal year, 25-26, I think we really need to do something with our work plan. We need to sort it out and use this time, because if there's interest among the commission members and the council to participate in the Maryland 250 program, we need to know that, and we need to know what the programming is. And that's going to be us working with Lucinda on trying to develop maybe 2 or 3 programs based on what her capacity is to be able to do this. The commission meets twice a month or every other month. And so when we miss a meeting or this is pushed off to another meeting, it puts us more at everything has to go at a faster pace. And these types of programming, as Lucinda will tell you, take a lot of time and effort to organize and coordinate with not just people that are within the town, but looking potentially at external partners in these programs.
So let's take the item nearest the boat. It sounds like the 250 program is the closest thing to your boat that you're trying to deal with in terms of understanding what we might be wanting to do.
Well, yes, but it's a piece of that, because we have to look at the program, the work plan overall, and to be able to implement some of the stuff that we want for this first year to be able to prepare for. We have to get moving on making progress on the work plan to get to the council.
Okay.
Is it
That makes sense?
reasonable? Is it more reasonable to set up a date for us to do a much longer, what am I trying to say?
Planning session.
A planning session to get a handle on this? I mean, it's not something I think that we've been given a tremendous amount of information to absorb. And I don't think we're in any position here at this moment to make
No,
decisions that we have to vote on.
That's fair.
Well,
So
and I
could
can,
we take a
Please.
date, have a workshop and,
and I think that's good, and we can do it sooner rather than later.
yes,
We don't have to wait 2 months. We have a drumbeat of every other month, but that doesn't mean we have to live to it. We can do something in between.
Sure. I think
First off.
that's-
Second off, listening. My perception is that in terms of the activities like you're describing for the 250 program, the one item that pops into my mind that we're looking at is how we want to mark the 2026 or the 1926 anniversary for the tornado. Because that's an activity that sounds a lot like what you were talking about. And it's something we've been talking about doing. So that would be an item that compare that, contrast that to, we've been talking for nearly a year about trying to find a way to get the town museum to an initial opening. Initial, right? You know, you heard the discussion around 2 phases for that, right?
Yes.
So we don't have to do that much, but get the museum back open to what it was years ago. Just get started. And I don't think that's related to the 250 program, but it's something that has been a priority for our group. So trying to figure out how these things fit together. And the other part, the other suggestion I would give to you is, while you guys are severely limited in terms of resource, in terms of your time, her time, and whatnot, as opposed to trying to force everybody to a plan that allows you to have the time to do what you need to do, is turn it around and leverage us to help you get it done. And then you can multiply what you're trying to do, and we can all get to an end that we want.
And I think there is a role for the HPC to be involved in this. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
think it becomes imperative just out of need and your interest.
Yeah.
And participating. So yeah, I'm totally fine with doing that.
Okay.
And we can develop committees for that, because we want to work smart for this.
Yeah.
It can't fall on any one person. There's stuff in here that
Right.
does take time.
There's certain things that we have to rely on staff for, like getting all the appropriate licenses and approvals and whatnot. There are things we can literally do that you don't need to do, but we can work together and have a plan that gets it all done.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I'd like to also chime in a little bit about the Maryland 250, because Kelly brought that up a while back when it first was making the rounds, I think. And we kind of listened to it, but didn't really give it a lot of credence, because our mission, as we saw it, was Town of La Plata. And we felt like the Revolutionary War, I mean, Town of La Plata is 1888, of course, Revolutionary War a little sooner than that. So we didn't see it as being particularly relevant to what we were trying to do here in terms of preservation of La Plata's history. Closest thing we could get to it was probably Dr. Craig and his role in with George Washington and so forth. But we didn't really look at it that hard, because we felt like, we're looking at the town history 1888 onward, or 1872, I guess, onward. So we didn't really consider it.
The Maryland 250 is a great opportunity. You do have Revolutionary War roots here with Dr. Craig's house. You also have Thomas Nelson,
Thomas
Stone.
Thomas Stone. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, but he's outside of town, though. But yeah,
He's outside of London, but he's close by.
Yeah.
Right. And so you have a signer that's here, which
That other house.
which is a really cool thing. But as you and I have talked kind of off the record, outside these meetings, is you can use these opportunities, and Lucinda can definitely pontificate more on this. These are opportunities for economic development.
yeah.
Using the opportunity to sell La Plata, come to La Plata, stay at our hotels, buy our food, go to our vendors, our businesses out here. So you can certainly, for a 250 event, it doesn't have to be so narrowly focused or on the American Revolution or the signers of the country's independence, but you can include things about La Plata's history. It's sort of a larger celebration of America, really, is how I'm looking at it.
well, if Maryland 250 is that, I mean, if it does encompass beyond the founding of the nation and the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, then yeah, it aligns with us pretty well. But the way it was presented to us at the time sounded like it was more focused on the American Revolution. So that's why it was kind of dismissed.
Maybe because
So let's stop.
Sorry.
It's 12 o'clock already. So what I'm going to propose here is, let's pick a date to do this, get together here and push this further down the road. So we've got, won't do Friday, because I heard that's a bad day. So, bad day for me, but the 23rd is good, if that works. Or
Any Tuesday or Thursday? Tuesdays or Thursdays, did they work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
When I said August 22nd, the Friday night concerts end on August 22nd. So then Friday's back on the table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after that.
All right. Well, I have other commitments. Okay, so looking here.
I mean, can we get together within the next couple of weeks?
I'm sure we can. I'm just trying to pick a day.
Yeah.
So today's the 18th, cancel. The 21st, which is Monday, as soon as this Monday.
I can't do anything in July at this point.
I'm trying to, okay,
I think the
7th of
7th
August?
of August, is that a Thursday?
it is. I have a baseball game to go to.
What time?
Noon. It's an afternoon game. But the 6th or the 8th are good.
Earlier
August eighth,
August
that's
is
a-
better for me than later August.
August 1st,
What day of the week is that?
that's a Friday.
I'm trying to stay away from Friday.
No, she's okay after the 22nd.
Of August.
Of August.
Of August.
Never mind. I apologize. I half listened. My wife told me to open. All right.
What are we accomplishing?
The purpose of the meeting is for us to, frankly, what I want to do is have an opportunity for us as a group to study this thing that Don has put together here.
And
Adapt it a little bit to what we want to get done, and then, so you don't necessarily have to be there.
Yeah,
if That's your
well,
point.
I may not have to be there yet. It's too early.
Yeah. So, well, for,
Well, I do want to talk to
this
you.
is, yeah, we could deal with that.
Okay,
But for this strategic document, okay.
Let me just get my file so that we're all on the same page. I think it would be great to have a subcommittee that just deals with events, because so many of the things you're speaking about, I'm interested in, but it's out of my purview. With this endeavor as my job.
Right.
I am a resident of the town of Lahaina, so who knows where I may show up.
So,
But what I'm suggesting is that you go forward and establish what events are of the most interest, and then establish an event subcommittee, and we can.
right
that will
now,
need to be a
that's what I was trying to tell you before. Right now, we have one event one event,
Right, we're
that's what we're looking
moving toward other.
not really. So that's why the events like concerts and town activity, and that's different than most of what we're doing here.
How about,
So,
can we look at the date of August 5th?
yeah,
What I'm referring to is as you digest what Don put together, and we're looking at the list of proposed events that are related to this document. That's the subcommittee that we're looking at.
Yeah, I
And
got you.
once you decide in your second meeting what is of interest, then there's something to work with.
Yeah.
And
okay,
then I can come back.
got you. All right, well, that's good. Okay, so that kind of reopens Fridays.
It reopens
Yeah,
the-
all that discussion opens Friday, so, to answer your question, the 5th cannot work for me. Got doctor stuff to do.
Why don't you tell us what works for you?
So I will, and,
I have another meeting at 1 o'clock.
okay, well, you're gonna make your meeting. So the 25th is okay, the 23rd of July are okay,
No,
21st is okay.
I'm.
You
I'm
can't
gonna be
do-
out- I am.
All right, so going into August, August 1st is okay, August 6th is okay,
I would,
August 8th is okay.
I could rearrange my schedule for the 6th.
I've got a council meeting, or planning commission meeting on that day. I gotta
August
prepare for.
1st? What day of the week is
Um,
August 1st?
I would-
August-
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town and just coming back to work on the 30th. And so that's, I'm gonna be, I can tell you, I'm gonna be, hit hard when I come back. Let me offer, maybe as early as maybe the 7th or 8th of August.
8th is good. Everybody work with the 8th?
I think I can do 8.
Okay, what time?
9 to 1?
Okay, there's progress. All right,
All right, so August special study session Work session. August 8th at 9 AM. 9 to 1. Yeah.
We're talking about AM, I hope.
Oh, of course, you're invited.
I'm not trying to dominate, but I only have this one section. I wanted to add to the potential events, I guess that would be F. I talked with Don about having a train day, since so much of La Plata revolved around the railroad. The Baltimore Train Museum does amazing train events, and I think it would be a lot of fun to try to partner with, is it CNO? Or
CSX.
CSX, that's a canal, CSX, Amtrak, whoever could get involved to kind of recreate the days of trains in La Plata. So that's an event that I'm interested in. I'm a train girl. I've gone across the country, done a lot of things with trains. But I think the resident could really get into that.
There may be some mechanical reasons why that can't happen, but we can talk a little bit about that because I've looked at those kinds of things in the past as well.
Okay.
The condition of the tracks and the use of for passenger services is probably the biggest issue.
So I was surprised at some of this when we were talking about it. And maybe we can't have the train moving,
Yeah,
but maybe we can do some other things.
Well, stationary exhibits and other things.
Mhm.
well, I'd love to get a steam locomotive down here. That would be great.
Yeah, we can look at it. I know from my planning commission days and whatnot, CSX is probably the hardest organization on the planet to work with. They never want to do anything with this town.
Well,
They never want to do anything with the town. But we're not asking them to put a, heaven forbid, a crossing on the track. So maybe doing something like you're talking about, they'd be more open to.
Well, we
I
had
think
talked
it'd be
about
fun.
trying to
It'd be
get more
fun.
rolling stock for the museum on
Yeah.
a siding somewhere. If we can get CSX to let us do that, but
Because
they've
there's,
abandoned those sidings. So
yeah, if they're not going to ever use those tracks again, we'd love to put some more cars out there and do some other things just permanently. So there's all kinds of good stuff there. So yeah, we can dig into that.
Amtrak is right now because they're trying to increase their marketability and having people look at Amtrak as a viable option.
Cool.
So that
I'm going to push the agenda. We really got to get going. We've got a lot to cover. I'm running out of time. So I'm going to, if there's anything else urgent, seriously, is there anything else? Okay,
but I just want that's the vital.
that's a good one. Then we're going to take it. I like it. All right. All right.
Rich, could I make a request that we move up the agenda to where we talk about the firehouse for the ladies who are here to
Yeah.
express their
That's fine.
interest in that?
Yeah, you can do that. So as far as the firehouse goes, actually, it's good.
Well, can I introduce?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not
Okay.
good at this.
Members of the La Plata Garden Club are here to speak about the Star Memorial Garden, which is located at the firehouse here in La Plata, Firehouse Museum. And they have an interest in what's going to take place there from the standpoint of the garden that we've been maintaining for 15 years there. So I'll introduce you to the president of the garden club. Kathy is right here. And next to her is Carol, our vice president, and then Kathy Heddle, who is chairman of the committee. So, Kathy, would you like to speak to
Yes,
your concerns?
good afternoon. Rich, I want to clear something up. I do have a digital copy of the architect's plan.
Oh, good. Okay. All right.
I am part of the La Plata Garden Club and I am chairperson of the Star Garden Committee. When I was looking at the architect's proposal, I was kind of disappointed in the photos that were presented within this document. The ones that I saw are at least 2 years old, and there have been significant changes in those photos. And right now, the photos in your document do not represent the large pollinator garden.
Yeah.
Pollinator garden is a garden that's planted to encourage bees and moths and.
Yeah, we have one behind the train station.
You do.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Yep.
The same designer worked with us. And this encourages the bees, the butterflies, the moths to go from flower to flower to pollinate. A lot of work has gone into this, and our funds from our garden club supported the plantings. They are made up, this pollinator garden are perennials and native plants that have been planted there. If you look at the building site page, there's an area marked that the question is, it's called open space. And I don't know if this is really part of our garden or not, the way the photo is presented. I understand that we are governed also with ADA by federal and state regulations that cannot be waived, understand that. But I'm just saying that if and when the entrance to the south end of the community room that's proposed, and there'll be the entrance, and then there'll be a pathway behind the pollinator garden. I guess our question and concern is that if at some point you have to encroach on the pollinator garden, can we work together on this? to
Yes.
decide what we can.
The short answer and the easy is yes.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for. I just needed some validation. Because we also are in the process of putting up a little screening fencing that would abut right next to the pollinator garden. So, I've been there, I've measured it. I think the measurements are okay for ADA, but I'm not certain. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention. We
Yeah.
want to
No.
work together with you, and I
Yep.
appreciate your yes. And,
Yeah, this thing is, as I told you before the meeting, the maturity of the specific design details and all that is not there yet in terms of what we're gonna do. So we have time and opportunity to find a way to make them both work. Now, it doesn't mean that pieces of the pollinator garden won't get affected, or the pieces of the way we do the entrance won't get affected. We're gonna have to work through these things.
I understand. We
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I just wanted to bring it to your attention, and thank you for your time, and, we shall make our exit.
Okay, well, you're welcome to say, it's, if you want to stay for, because we'll finish the conversation related to the firehouse now that we've opened it, and you can get a state of play on where we are. But that's up to you. Okay, so, Don, and I'm gonna need some input from you on this, but, at the last meeting, we talked about trying to work towards getting to an initial opening, right? An initial opening of the museum as it was some years ago. In other words, modest changes just to open up the bottom floor of the one side of the building where the fire stuff is, so that people can come in and see it, and we can open it on an occasional basis, just like we operate the train station. So we did kind of some initial work to look at what would need to be done to make that happen, in terms of bringing it up to snuff, in terms of a reasonable looking building inside, because it needs work to clean it up and paint it and do some things maybe to the floor and get that stuff squared away. But in relatively short order, we could potentially have this thing open so the town residents can see, oh yeah, this thing's making progress, and progress begets interest in more progress. So there's a strategic view in why we want to do this, but also it gets something out there. The building is already making a lot of progress. The exterior work on the building is really nice. The painting that's been done is really nice. And to try to bring it inside and get some of the inside available to the town is our next step. And as you know, we started working on this. Ron's been working very hard on all this, and we've been kind of asked to stop. And we're good at that. We can stop. It's getting started that's hard. Stopping's easy. So what I'd love to do is find a path forward to get started again. We had some funding left over from our last budget that I don't know what the status of that is now. I was trying to take advantage of it before we lost it. Now that the year is gone, I suspect the money's reverted back to the town treasury from last year. And but I'd still like to move forward if possible on that initial step. So I'm going to ask you what we need to do to make that happen. And if there's other people that need to say it's okay, because the idea of having a firehouse is not new, or having a museum there is not new. It's been around a long time. The town's already committed to investing in the building with the painting and buying the building and all that stuff. We're just looking to take it to the next step. But over to you if you can give me some insight.
So let me tell you that I've discussed with the town manager, Chuck Stevens, and we both agree that at this point, neither of us are aware of a town council direction to use it as a museum, and there's certainly not been money allocated specifically for that purpose. The money that was given was apparently and this came out of the COVID monies that the town was given. There was money allocated to paint the building as well as to do some sort of a building analysis. I guess was completed back earlier this year, and that was it. I don't have any record. I can't find any record. Kelly and I have looked that directs the HPC to use the building as a museum for any other purpose. That may be the desire of the HPC to do that, but until we get town council direction, because it's a town asset, and it has to be budgeted for any work that's done, for maintaining it, for insurance, all the other fun stuff, the retrofit that may need to be done. So there has to be council buy-in how that resource is actually going to be used. And at this point, there is nothing scheduled by the town manager to discuss this issue at the town council. Now, if Councilman Gutenberg wants to bring it up as a liaison, that might be a quicker option. I've included, obviously, the museum as a work plan item for next year because there's no budget for it right now.
Well, that's not true. There is
and-
budget for it.
What's the budget?
We
for
have
it?
budget that's been allocated to us for $3,000 extra to the HPC to work on this. And
What was it, and specifically, when was that budgeted?
this year,
Not for 2025, 26.
is Kelly still back?
I know there's a $5,000 budget.
We have an $8,000 budget this year. It was
Yeah,
added.
you only have 5,000.
We
There's money,
requested 8,000.
right, but the money, and please understand that money that's in the prior fiscal year does not roll over.
No, I understand that. That's not what I'm talking about. Is Kelly still back there or is she gone?
Oh, she should hear you.
She's there, she's there.
All right. So I thought that was approved. So apparently it was not approved.
My understanding is there's $5,000 allocated for the HBC, which is I guess a reoccurring amount that you've received in the past.
So
Oh.
I don't know if that's what the final. It reverted at some.
I thought it was 5 is what. but-
Generally, it's 5 this year. For this fiscal year, we requested $8,100 and the treasurer said that that would be fine. Whether or not that actually made it through the adoption process, that
Okay.
remains for you. I haven't.
Okay, so before we decide there isn't money or is, could we find out, please?
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
I will verify with the treasurer how much money is allocated for the commission.
Okay. And then if we need to get in front of the council, then let's get in front of the council.
I think that is something that Councilman Gutenberg, the process wise, Councilman Gutenberg should bring it up at council meeting.
Well, he's not here.
I understand, but that's.
Have either of you guys talked with the mayor about this at all?
And for council for HPC issues, Councilman Gutenberg is your liaison.
No, you didn't answer my question.
Have I talked to her specifically? No, I have not.
No, and I assume that the planning manager hasn't talked to her about
I am,
it.
I'm the planning director.
Excuse me, the town manager.
Town manager, I don't know what Mr.
You guys both
Stevens
knew.
done.
So that's the point. The discussion around this has been around a long time.
It may have been, but as town staff, we take direction from the town council. And until we get direction from the town council that They want staff to pursue opening this up as a museum, provide proper allocation, approve for insurance, all of the, and retrofit activities, and then long-term staffing. We're simply not going to move forward with it until we get council
So
direction.
I would
to do
like
that.
you, please, because Paul couldn't make it today,
Sure.
to please pursue getting us on the agenda with the town council to talk about this, and so we can present to them what we're thinking of doing and get an okay, because I don't understand, if we're not going to do a museum in there, what are you going to do with the building?
I will convey that to the town manager.
I'd actually also like to point out that we've been working on this for quite some time,
Yeah.
put a lot of effort on it, a lot of time to find out now that we're spinning our wheels
Yeah.
is kind of disappointing. It's not like it was a secret we're working on it. So I don't understand why it wasn't made clear to us earlier that we need to have this process in place and have the council approve things.
Look, the
At what
council,
point were we going to be led? How far were we going to be led before we found this out?
Well, and that's why I think that the council, the current council needs to comment on what they want from this asset. I'm more than happy to work with you. I think having a museum there is certainly is a wonderful idea.
I mean, I don't want to kill the
But-
messenger. I mean, you're just telling us what we should have learned a while back. We've had council representation on the commission for quite some time. I don't understand how we could have gotten this far with council representation on the commission and not be aware of this.
I don't have an explanation.
So
for it.
I'm basically blowing steam on.
Yeah, no, I get it. And there's a process for that. I think, again, Councilman Gutenberg becomes a critical part of that because he is the liaison that conveys information from this commission to the council for discussion.
okay,
And then the council can decide if they want to put it as a bigger agenda item, they can do that. That's the normal process that would happen.
very well. And just one other background question I need to know.
Sure.
The funding that was put together from COVID that you referred to, there's, as I understand it, that funding was set aside specifically for that building, not
Yes.
to be used other places.
Yes.
But it's not forever money either. When does it have to be spent?
Kelly, do you have some background?
The requirements for reporting for the ARPA money have been satisfied. The money that's been set aside, especially for the Firehouse Museum, is in a reserve for the Firehouse Museum, so that project is complete.
Does it have to be spent by a certain time?
There is not a deadline on that.
Okay, that's good.
And that
Okay.
was
But it
that
can't
was
be reallocated to some other project, so the money doesn't get lost.
that was specific to a firehouse museum or specific to just renovating the firehouse?
Yeah, well, whatever they decide to do with it. Okay, all right. All right, well, anyway, bottom line, as soon as we can get to the council and have a discussion about what do you want to use this building for, and then we can follow. Okay.
Yep.
And I also feel that when we're going to take the time to have this meeting on August 8th,
Yeah,
that our representative be with us,
yeah, that'd be
Council.
good.
be with us.
Yeah.
He's going to be the one presenting these items to the council. He needs to be an active part.
Oh, yeah, I completely agree. What will happen is that, well, unless the town manager wants to do it differently, the town manager would typically present to the council. Of course, obviously I would be there, but that presentation would be between the town manager and the council.
All right, cool. All right, any other business on the firehouse?
Don't have any indoor venues that are suitable for having events. So I would also like to do events in conjunction.
Yeah, so the beautification committee, help me, which was the beauty, no, was it
Garden Club?
What is it?
No, the beautification, was it, which
Oh,
group held the other? So,
Yeah,
Played it beautiful.
yeah.
Keep La Plata Beautiful, that group, we're working with them already. There is one side of the what's commonly referred to as the ambulance bay over there as to be a community room. And so that's part of the planning that we're looking at. And so, yes, on board with that.
Not a large venue though.
No, it could be like a large, it's about the size of this room, a little smaller maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah,
But that side of the building needs a ton of work too.
yeah, small,
It has a severe mold problem and some other things over there that need to be fixed. So, but that doesn't matter. We're going to do it. We're going to get it all done. And we're trying to handle both sides of this as a single.
And the gardens in the back can always be nice for an overflow, you know, for
Yeah.
events and stuff.
Oh yeah, the garden's a beautiful spot and we should use it.
May I? Clarification. You should be viewing this in two steps, two segments. The report that was delivered by the architect encompassed the whole building, both sides. We haven't done anything with that, and you've all talked through that in detail. The part we're talking about when we talk about opening early with some money that was allocated was a preliminary step that was only to be done in the short term. While the longer term project was coordinated with the Beautification Commission and now with you all, so that an entire plan can be presented to the town council and be all encompassing. So when we have these discussions, think in those two phases. The first phase, the very short-term view where we pause. And the longer term, we haven't gone
Right, that's right.
in a large term.
And and we all recognize that's going to take some real hard work to identify funding and things we need to do. And we have some thoughts on how we can approach some of the harder elements like an HVAC system that's got to probably be updated. And, you know, I'm a big fan of other people's money too. And I think there's corporate opportunity here to get money to do something like that.
absolutely.
We kind of reached out a little bit to SMECO informally, because I think for them to come in and say, look, we have a green energy program heating system in this building, and put signs all over the place if they want that says that. All they need to do is, pay for the lighting and the HVAC, and we'll be thrilled to do all that. So there's opportunities there for that, and we want to explore that. But yeah, as Ron says, our initial view is let's just get something started here. And I don't think it's a big reach, and I don't think it's hard to do within the money that's available, or that we thought we had available, to do that. So anyway, that's it. Any other comments on the firehouse? Okay. All right.
Thank you.
That's your cue.
Disseminate all the information. Thank you.
Oh, good. You can announce the train station museum openings, right? Yes.
And I.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Really should look at the Maryland 250 website. As we've been talking, I found several grants that address almost everything that someone said. There are a myriad of grants, over 30.
Okay.
I think
Absolutely.
you can accomplish a lot of goals by looking at that website.
Okay.
Is there a grant writer for the town?
Not that I know of.
That's
It would be great.
Well, we do have she does write grants. Yes, we do actually.
Oh, you just said.
Well, I mean, I know we've had many grants in the past, and I know Michelle Miner was involved in those, but I don't know that she's still the I know, it was just a question.
She'll write the grants, I believe, but we do have somebody in-house that can.
Are those grants available to private individuals, or are they just available to,
Both.
interesting?
Looking at the page, and when you mentioned the renovations, there is a Miller grant. It's a private grant that is specifically for historic renovation of buildings. So there's a lot here. Going to exclude.
You might actually get a concert off this evening.
We're having a concert this evening. I have that posted, taboo. But no, really, if there are any things that you want given out, the Girl Scouts man our booth and they give out the information, and we run out of our flyers. So
Well-
Well,
The train station next opening is the 26th of July. If there's a way to get that mentioned, that's great.
Yeah, you know what? I will run off some copies of the ad that was in the last newsletter.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I'm very interested in what you all do because I think events cross quite a bit.
Absolutely.
I
Thank
will
you.
probably be sending you an email or two.
Please do. I'll point you in these directions.
Okay, thanks.
thank you.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna, Mary Beth, why don't you, let's do the plaque thing next. And the reason I say that is I want to make sure you need to leave at 1 sharp. So let's,
Um, let's see, the end of May, just bringing everybody up to date, the end of May, we met with people from the Maryland Historic Trust to talk about a historic district for the town. And they gave us a lot of good information about moving forward. And of course, we're very fortunate to have you, Don, on board with all of that. But I think the first thing we have to do is come up with a survey. And it sounds like, and that's expensive. I think the county would work with us on it, but it sounds like that isn't a plan for down the road, not something we're going to work on currently. Am I correct on that?
That would be my,
That's,
that is my recommendation in the work plan, because we need to be able to have staff time. And we want to align it with our comp plan, because I think you'll get more bang for the buck out of it, because the survey information will come out at the time that we're starting to, as we begin to write the comp plan update.
Then on the plaques, plaque program. Okay, I went to Crown Trophy up in Waldorf, and they provided me with this metal plaque. Looking at plaques such as with International Bronze, I mean, they're like $350 for this size plaque. And someone suggested I go up to Crown, and I did. Now, they do not have an oval plaque, but they have this particular plaque. This particular plaque, if we wanted to start with this, with our, I think we should, my recommendation is that we start with businesses as opposed to homes. We can purchase this plaque for $110.65 with 30 letters free. After that, every letter is another 30 cents. So Historic Preservation Commission is actually 30 letters. So then we would still have to have whatever we wanted to
Well,
put on
that's-
there, established or whatever.
that's,
Now, the engraved area is 5 by 7. The overall is 6 by 8.
is that bronze and?
It is not bronze, it is a metal. But she says it is very, very durable, that they do not, they order the plaque itself, but they do all the engraving on it at Crown Trophy. So I don't know whether you all would find something like this satisfactory. We don't have to make a decision.
Is that the
today.
color of the metal or is that the gold?
This is the color of it.
Okay, because the back is silver, the front, looks bronze. Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know whether that interests you or not. I don't know whether we should go forward. with
That's significantly
voting
less
forward.
money.
Start with what we call the DeAngelis Building. Some people refer to it as the T.R. Farrell Building. It's the 600 Charles Street.
Yeah.
I believe that building's owned by Pellegrino, but I don't know that for a fact. We would have to research that to find out who is the owner,
Yeah.
whether they would be willing to allow us to move forward and put a plaque on their building.
So,
are we commemorating the building or the business within the building?
The building,
Building, okay.
yeah, the business changes many times there. Right now, I believe it's a beauty shop, might be a tattoo parlor upstairs.
Both, yeah, but everything.
so,
Definitely the building.
yeah, so, okay.
Now, can we move forward with that or?
Well, I was just for my own edification. So how is the program? I don't understand how the program works. So how does somebody go about getting a plaque? Is there an application? Is there?
No, this is something that we have done with the public buildings. There was no application. We selected the first 5 plaques we did, the locations, what they would be, and the hospital was in agreement, the theater was in agreement. There was no written contracts on any of this.
Okay, so you're basically proffering these plaques to put on buildings based on their age?
It could be their age, their architecture, their
Significance.
significance to the town later.
Okay, okay,
Um, there was no formal contracts with any of the previous places that we did. And starting with the businesses now, we need to work with town, somebody on the staff, so that we have a spreadsheet of all the.
Well, you had a list of
I
initial
have-
ones you
I have
wanted to
all
do.
that Here, yeah. But I say, this was what I originally, this goes back 25 years to when we had the original commission. But it tells us that this particular building was built in,
1872.
um,
1872.
1872. You know, I'm missing a page of this. I just don't know where it is.
That particular building's perhaps the oldest one in town.
It is the
Yeah.
oldest building in town. And that's why I felt we should start.
Yeah, I thought you had selected 5 or 6 or something to do this year already.
But, huh?
I thought you had
Well, we
selected
had
some.
a list of some that we thought we'd like to start with,
Yeah.
but I think we need to start slowly, try the first one and see how it works out.
Yeah.
And see if they were in agreement to us doing this. Now, eventually, it might work into a program where the homeowner would be paying for the plaque if they would like one, but for now.
Yeah.
Um,
So that all sounds great. So just to add to this, on my vacation, I was in Rapid City, South Dakota. I started. They have a neat thing there where they do, I'll share this with you. They have a thing with
for the
presidents,
bronze, isn't that?
bronze
wonderful?
statues of presidents,
Yeah.
which is nice, but that's not the part that I'm excited about. The part I'm excited about is they have an audio tour with the UPC code, which we've been talking
Which is
about.
what we've been.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, to do. If you
So we
want.
get the plaques on the building and then we.
To
do
put
audio.
all we need to do is add that and people, you take a picture of it with your phone and get all kinds of information. You put whatever you want. So, want to share, let them see that.
Oh, sure.
You know, the idea being that, hey, first of all, they've done it. So I'd like to reach out to them and see if they'll share. How did you do that? Because there's a foundation in there that does it. It's not done by the city. The only thing the city provided for that whole thing was the corners to put the president's statues. Then the private foundation did it. We don't have that arrangement, but I'd love to find out from the foundation, how did this audio tour work and what's the software? And I don't want to create something new if it exists. And I'm all for copying other people's work. So I just wanted you to see that and, you know, I'll dig into it a little more, but just want to let you know it's out there.
So that's, can I move forward with, finding out the owner of the building and whether they would be receptive to this?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned. Is there, let me ask you this, are you looking to do the first plaque?
We got to
Do
start.
we need money? Do we need to, okay, money?
If y'all want to do that at this time, or you just want me to gather more information on the building?
Okay.
What would you like?
For what it's worth, my suggestion is that we probably should, if we're using town money, yeah, that's, I assume this is being paid for through
Within our budget.
the budget. So it's town money. I would create sort of a sheet that basically identifies what the purpose of the plaques are and the criteria for someone who's basically eligible for it. And then how the buildings are selected, and then how many of these that you'll do a year. And so,
I think we already have that.
yeah, if you have that information, then I think you're ahead of the game. But I would definitely for budgeting purposes, identify how many buildings you're doing a year so that you're not overcommitting.
So if you have a list of 6 in mind, draw up what he's asking for the 6 plaques. Obviously, we're going to coordinate and see if the building owners will allow it or they want it. But let's build something that we could turn into a request or a recommendation that we, so we have budget. Do we get to approve this budget or do we have to now get it approved again by the?
No, you've got money allocated so that it's your budget to do things related to your job duties. This could be certainly one of them, that the commission allocates money for this project.
Okay.
My suggestion about having documentation for why you're spending the money and how you're spending the money, I think is prudent for accounting purposes, because the town treasurer is going to look at it, account, and say, well, why are we giving these out? Who are we
Okay.
giving them to?
All right.
And so there's a nexus for why we're spending
Okay,
taxpayer money.
perfect. So okay. All right. So for the next meeting, have a recommendation for a
Series of plaques.
no, yeah, just a plan. Yeah, put forward your plan that we can approve for the 6 that you want to do this year. And with an outline of, hey, we're going to do 6 plaques. We're going to look at these 6 businesses first. If they all approve, we'll use them. If not, we'll have another one. We'll add if anybody falls off. But I want to give you authorization from the commission to spend the money to buy the plaques. That's all I want. So, and I think that meets your objective, right? Okay. We're going to do some research on that first. Not ready for that. I'd love to add that into the
We
plaque.
don't want to hold the plaques up for.
We can always do a little side one, like they did little side plaque here. You
Yeah.
saw how they did it. So we could do the same thing. All right, so I'm any more on the plaques, Mary Beth? All right, so there's something we need to do before you leave. We need to have a motion. We already put the new air conditioner in the caboose. So we need to, I don't know, some guy paid for it. We need to pay him back. So what I'd like to do is put a motion forward to pay for the air conditioner. It's $168. Is that right, Stuart?
I think so, yeah. And some change.
We have a copy of the picture of the receipt. So what I'd like to do is somebody propose a motion and a second, and we'll do a vote to approve funding this. We talked about it many times in previous meetings.
Make a motion that we reimburse Stuart Bowling in the amount of $168 for the air conditioner for the train station museum.
If I may, it's $168.54.
Correction, $168.54.
54
Thank you. All right. Do I hear a second?
Well, that's only.
I can't second. Can I second the motion? to
I'll
reimburse
second it.
myself?
All right, I'll second it. You're going to have to vote on it or we won't have a quorum.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And it's, I don't think there's a conflict of interest there, really. All right, okay. So as far as that minor item goes, are we clear now to get him reimbursed? Yeah, okay. Just for the record, for your awareness, this is a topic that's been around for quite a while, since last year when the thing quit. And we put in requests for the town to, hey, come fix the air conditioning, because it's really a maintenance problem. And never got done, no response, nothing happened. So this new season was opening and we dealt with it. It was inexpensive and it was within our means. And as a group, we agreed to do it.
If you have, yes. Process wise, I fully understand why that happened. But in the future, if there's any issues like that, ask me. I'll do it because there's a process for doing these types of things.
Cool.
And the town can, it's a town resource or asset, so we can pay for it. It shouldn't be somebody paying for it and then getting reimbursement. The town has the ability to go out and purchase it because we're a nonprofit.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just getting them to do it.
Yeah, they just didn't do
Yeah,
it.
well, we had
So-
talked about,
And that's why I'm saying facilitated for me, if that should come up before you buy anything.
Yeah, and not for nothing, just because. We put he put in the request for the reimbursement before the fiscal year ended.
Yes.
I'd love to get the money out of that year, not this year. Good. Okay,
And that's simply because the receipt was dated prior to July 1st.
okay,
well,
good.
I was also operating under the premise that the commission had voted in prior years to authorize me to spend up to a certain amount of money on behalf of the museum, acquiring assets for the museum. It was in the context of acquiring exhibit items. But in this case, I mean, it was still in.
It's a little
so
different, so.
That's why I ran with it the way I did.
With the plaques, I thought that, you know, everything has to, I would just call Kelly and say, here's the information.
So while we're talking about prior year money, just one other item. Did the first payment get done for the tornado sign?
As far as I know, it did. I've asked and yes, at least the first payment was done.
Okay, so that should have been last year's money. The reason I ask is because our balance at the end of the year looked like it didn't include it. So I wanted to make sure.
Well, Kelly said it
What
did.
is this one? I'm not.
So this was
For the-
there's a new sign for the 100th anniversary that's going to go up at the site of where the tornado was. And that sign total cost, I think was $3,000-ish. And we were going to pay half out of the last year budget and half out of this year budget so that we didn't kill our whole budget on one sign, right? So hopefully that first payment got made out of last year's budget. We submitted it.
I mean, we got everything to the town. Everything went through Kelly, so. hopefully it was taken
If you could
care
let me know that happened, that'd be great news too.
of. I've asked that
Yeah.
question a couple times and
Yeah.
The tornado sign.
the 100th anniversary of
Yeah.
the tornado.
It's one of those large
Fixed.
signs you see by the road, that, historic site kind of thing,
Yeah.
silver.
Marking the location of the old schoolhouse. is what it
Yeah,
was.
okay.
Which is right across from the hospital.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Don, it's like that.
Yes. That's like in front of the house
All right.
or the bridge.
Let's see. Is there anything else anybody's aware of that we need a vote for? There's a couple of informational things. I just want to watch Mary Beth.
Well.
While we have a quorum, I want to make
Yeah,
sure
I
we
don't
do.
know about this. I'm looking at this, the commission paper, and it states that Patty Mudd's term ended in, February 24th of 2025, as mine did. So, these are our terms.
Wait, do we have a quorum?
We do.
If her term ended February 24th. I could, I'm watching him.
I thought we extended you, to be
I'm
honest.
watching his reaction and I think that's what that reaction's all about.
I think I was asked, and I said, yeah.
So here's the thing, Patty's health is struggling. So I'm expecting she won't want another term.
I can discuss that with her.
Would you?
Or is it better for somebody from the town staff to discuss it with her?
Or I can,
What's protocol now? You know, I'm all of a sudden getting a little lost here.
well, I will reach out to her, first of all. I will reach out to her
Okay,
and see what she wants to do. If she wants to do another term, I'll be thrilled. If she doesn't feel like she's got the energy for it, we can have her still participate at her, whatever pace she wants.
she could, you know,
If she's got a lot of deep knowledge, I don't want to lose. So,
Yeah.
You have to be a town resident to be on the commission. Can you be a county resident?
you can be, we can have one county resident. And right now we have that.
No, we
no,
don't.
he's not.
Jane Hunt
Jane,
does not live in the town.
oh, okay. Shock.
Does not.
All right, so we'll have to see about getting somebody else.
We're also supposed to have like an alternate it was like an alternate that sits in when one of the regular commission members can't sit in.
Yes, that's the normal process. We should have, well, if we have enough people on the commission, if somebody's out, we have enough, like we have enough today.
Yeah, but I don't think we have an actual named alternate to act in that capacity. that may be something else we have to look at.
Yes, maybe we can look at that. All right, so bottom line is I think we're gonna be needing another person.
Yeah.
I'll reach out to her and I'll let her know, but I think that's the case.
What should happen is the clerk should reach out to, Patty Mudd and ask her, formally ask her if she wants to extend her term or not. But we will have to put Mary Beth's name on the council agenda to extend her term. I assume that she's interested in continuing to serve, correct?
I assume she's
Do
interested
we need
too.
to vote? Do we need to take a vote or nomination or anything like that? Do we need to nominate her and vote to send her to the council for approval?
For a recommendation, I'd have to look at what the procedures, it certainly doesn't hurt to, if you would want to.
You're willing.
To add this.
You're willing to renew you're willing to continue, right? Then I want to just go ahead and I'll make a motion to, then I make a motion that we recommend Mary Beth for another term and on the.
Second.
agency. And here I.
That's done. And then we'll deal with that.
We have, how many are we authorized now?
We did have 7.
7, so we have
But
room.
now, but we went back down to 5 because all the other commissions had 5, so they wanted everything alike, so that's why we dropped down to 5 rather than 7.
But I do think there's, if I remember reading it, there was an alternate position, and that position, the alternate sits in as a full council member if one of the council members can't attend the meeting.
If, so,
I don't know what the residency requirements are for the alternate, but
yes, we should check that. So if the alternate can be outside the town limits,
we can make one on the alternate.
there might be somebody around that wants to do it.
I've got too much going on here and they can reorg,
All right.
need to do a reorg.
As far as other things for the train museum, just so people are aware, so the sound system, you may recall, there's 2 things I wanted to talk about. One is the sound system's been repaired. I do need to get the electrician back to take a look at the sound system triggers lights in there to point at things. And the alignment seems to be off and I need the electrician to help with that. So I'm going to reach out to the electrician that put the stuff in the first place. And we may incur a cost for that, whatever it is, but it needs to get done. And if we need a motion to do that, then I'll ask for one. Do I need a motion for that?
This is something else on this. What's the?
We have a sound system in the caboose.
And audio.
Somebody pushes the button and it gives them an audio tour of east.
It's not appropriate for the commission to pay for it. We'll have to,
We had an electrician that,
Public Works. Yeah, look at it. Whoever.
Well,
I don't think the lights turn off. I think they stay on. all the
One
time.
one light stays on. I'd like to. Public Works doesn't know anything about it. They don't know how, they didn't install it. They don't know how it works. They don't know anything.
I'll get it for copy guys on what's going to be, we'll find out. That shouldn't come out of your budget or individually pay for it. It's a town asset. It's not working.
Okay. I will send you a note. All right.
Here, okay, the Historic Preservation Commission shall consist of 7, this was when we were trying to draft it, 7, and then we were going to take back to 5. 1 alternate member who may sit on the commission when any other member of the commission is absent. So.
So there's no
No,
So-
requirement
but
about
right
where that
now-
person comes
right-
from,
right
where they
now,
live, where they.
alternate is, be Jane Hobbs, right?
is she a full member or is she,
She's a full member.
well, then
We
she
have
wouldn't be the
1,
alternate.
2, 3, 4. She's a full member.
She's a full
I
member.
don't think we've ever had an alternate.
Huh?
She is the
Well,
alternate.
now here we have something that says vacant position ex officio. Term September. That's council member.
So is the.
So Jane is
council
the
one
alternate.
5?
So does that give us a total of 5 with her or 6?
With Jane, it's still 5.
So we could still have one more
Well, wait,
person.
it's Mary Beth, Rich, Patty, Stuart, Jane.
So if she's the alternate, we need a full member to get the full staff. We'll have 5 members plus the alternate. Oh, so the,
So the
And Paul.
council member is a voting member, okay.
then we're at full staff then.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good.
Gotcha.
All right, good. We have less to do now. That's good. One other thing for the caboose that I'd like us to look into in terms of security, we've had security problems over there. That's how the sound system got broken in the first place. We've asked about getting security cameras over there. The town has said no, that they don't have budget or whatever to put more security cameras over on the museum. We've done some research on this. Actually, Bob Curran did the research. He found some interesting systems that you can, like there's a thing that looks like a fire alarm, and it's got a camera in it and all that, and you can hook up to it via Wi-Fi, and if there's, we can put it on my phone, and if somebody's breaking into the thing, we'll know. If the town won't do it or can't do it, then I would recommend we get one of these devices for the caboose and maybe one for the museum itself, so that we can, and then if we see something happen, we can call the police.
This is a town asset, so if the commission does not have the purview to purchase equipment and install things without.
I'm with you.
Town asset.
So that's what I'm recommending here, is that we look at doing something like this, so we can protect this stuff.
The train station actually, I think, has a security system. It's just that we don't use it.
Does not.
It has a alarm system in there. It's just we've never.
No, not aware.
It's I used to have to disarm the stupid thing when I walked in there. I think it's sitting in the back corner where the router and everything is. I think it's back in there.
I didn't think that was, I thought that was for the cameras that they put up for outside. I didn't think that was ours.
It was actually an alarm system, but it hasn't been used in so long. I don't know if it's still functioning.
Oh.
I wouldn't know the code anyway. But
Okay, well, I'd love to see that. I didn't know. I've never seen a sensor in there. I don't know how it works. Okay.
it might all have been taken
We'll
down.
go back and do some work on this, and we'll come back next meeting and talk about this the next time. Okay. All right, so that's it. Anything else on the train station anybody's aware of?
We did notice that one of the vinyl letters is starting to peel off on the caboose.
Okay, we need to get them back to fix that.
Yeah. Susan hasn't been responding to my requests about the sign. I mean, she responds, but she responds so late that it's dragging along. So,
Yeah, we're gonna have another opening here in 2 weeks, and we still don't have the sign that says, when are we open?
yeah,
Maybe we
What-
need to go with another resource.
maybe.
I hate to say that.
Susan Stiles is Stricker and Company. They're an in-town graphic studio. And actually, I worked there one summer when it was owned by Bob Stricker, was Susan's father. And Susan,
They've been doing all the signage for the town, all the little
Yeah.
blue and white signs you see around, but
and she has been responsive, but it just takes a while for her to get back to you. And then it just sort of drags along, and I have to keep pushing her to, she's given me a mock-up of what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get a price out of her. I asked her if we could get a more hand-painted look. She wants to do everything with laser cut vinyl. And I'm looking for a more hand-painted look because I'm trying to get a historic feel to the sign. And I'm at this stage just trying to get a price. And I've been trying to get it for about 4 months.
Okay, so so if I understand correctly, you're reaching out for a professional bid to do that. Again, that needs to happen through the town staff because it's a town asset, and there's certain, the treasurer, the town's policy is to require 3 professional bids for any sort of service or product that's that the town purchases or
Is there a price?
contracts with.
Is there a top price for that sort of thing?
Well, typically you tend to go with the lowest bidder.
No, no, no,
whether
I
that is,
misstated the
but-
question. Is there a up to X dollars, you don't need to go through all that? In other words, if it's 500.
I need, that I'd have to ask the treasurer. I'm not sure what that amount would be. Typically, there's less restrictions if it's under a certain price. That's typically true, yes.
Okay.
But it has to be done through the town staff.
So,
Who would I go to?
so best thing for us to do then is just turn it over. Say, here's
That-
the issue.
Who do we turn it over to?
That's what I'm saying. If you have you have a list of issues with it, send it to me. I will direct it to whoever to the appropriate
Okay.
staff person is and copy the town manager on it. And if he wants it to go in a different direction or determines that we don't have the budget for it, doesn't want to do it, then that's kind of where it ends.
So we don't have to, as the HPC, vote to authorize spending any assets because it's all coming out of the town. So all we have to do is
It's
just
a town
send.
asset. If you notice something or there's something broken, yes, please let me know.
Okay.
You're being good stewards of the town asset, but it's the town asset and it doesn't belong to the HPC. So anything that needs to be fixed or purchased for, or recommendations for things that are dying, need to follow the particular process, which starts at the town's, it occurs through town staff processing. So, just keep me apprised of anything that you might need as it relates to stuff that
Okay.
you're using or you see that's a town asset.
All right.
Things that really are the HPC's budget are for things that are not town assets, or initiatives that the HPC wants to embark upon, like the plaque program. That would be something that would come out of your budget that's appropriate.
What about exhibits for the museum?
Um,
Acquiring it like an artifact, something, historic example of something.
I would say that would probably, that could come out of your budget because I think you can argue it either way, to be quite honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to belong to the museum.
I-
right?
It's if it's something minor that doesn't have a large cost to it, you probably as well to take it out of your budget. If it's something larger, then it's something that I would probably float up the food chain to see if the council wants to appropriate money to pay for it.
Okay.
Because again, it's sort of serving a town asset.
Okay. All right. Is there any new business or other business that we've not covered?
No. I don't think so.
Okay. Town council report, is there anything else you want to give us that we don't know already, that you haven't told us?
No, not that I can.
Or staff report, either way?
Relevant to your duties, no.
All right. Anything else anybody want to talk about? Do I hear a motion to maybe adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
Second,
Second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Done.
It's
9 minutes late, not too bad.
1:09. Yeah.
All right. Thank you all very much. Turn this off.
Where did you see Debbie Barber?
She came into the fight and brought it to me. I met her at the train station.